So I don't know if you guys noticed, maybe you watched the whole interview with Piers Morgan and Candace Owens, but if you closely paid attention, he was most certainly calling out her bluff. He must have asked her, I don't know, anywhere between like 6 to 8 questions. And first of all, she kept deflecting. She couldn't get straight to the point. She's a straight up liar. And like I said, overall, he was calling out her bluff. Make sure you guys watch that video in full, but I will attach a few of these clips of their interview between Piers Morgan and Candace Owens. Again, he was most certainly calling out her bluff, which is very necessary.
Why did you leave the Daily Wire?
Well, unfortunately, I can't talk about the specific reasons that I left the Daily Wire, but what I can do is respond to whatever reasons were given to the public. And obviously, no sooner did we agree to leave than Andrew Klavan of the Daily Wire did an entire episode stating that the reasons that I was leaving was because I was anti-Semitic and I was engaging in a type of anti-Semitism that was hard to pin down. And that is why in my first episode of launching my independent podcast, I hit back pretty hard at him because, you know, I think it's pretty despicable, first and foremost, as a colleague who I had a great relationship with, to have engaged in that, knowing that I was not at liberty to say anything. You know, I thought it was a very underhanded, disgusting tactic, and I responded in force.
I want to play you what Ben Shapiro told me when I asked him about this on Uncensored. One of the consequences of this war has been a lot of very high passions on both sides, a lot of angry disagreements. You and your company have been at the centre of a very high-profile one at the moment with Candace Owens, who's now left Daily Wire. Was she fired, or did she leave of her own volition?
I'm not going to speak to this topic, Piers.
At all?
At all. The only thing I will say is what I've said all along with regard to Candace or with regard to any of our other hosts. I am not in hiring and firing position with the Daily Wire. I'm a co-founder of the Daily Wire. I'm a co-owner of the Daily Wire. I'm not actually in management. And as far as the free speech situation, what I will say is that no company has the obligation to literally pay anyone. The Daily Wire is a publisher. It is not a platform.
Out of interest, is it true that you signed an NDA and that's why you can't really talk about this in detail?
I cannot speak in detail about any of that stuff.
You can't even confirm whether you've had an NDA?
I am not free to speak about any topic pertaining to contracts signed or not signed. And so.
So, in terms of Candace Owens getting fired by the Daily Wire, as you all know, that was me. I posted the video questioning, did she get fired by the Daily Wire? Did she quit? Or was her contract up? I was the one that posted that video, being that she started with the Daily Wire March 19, 2021, and then her last day was March 19, 2024. Now, are all contracts exclusive to being 3 years? No, that's not what I said. But if you think that there's 365 days in the year, what are the odds that her first day was March 19, 2021, and then the last day was March 19, 2024? March 19 out of 365 days out of the year. So I bring this back and I run this back and I say all of this to say that, as you've seen this clip here with her and Piers Morgan, if she got fired, right, why is it that she can't speak on the situation? And he clearly asked her the question, as you notice. He asked her, did she sign an NDA? Here's the thing. When you get fired, you don't have to sign an NDA. I mean, if you're fired and you don't sign an NDA, I mean, they might say things like, okay, you might not receive certain benefits or whatever. You know, everything is contract based. We all know this. But if she got fired, why can't she speak to that? And knowing Candace Owens, she's definitely the type, she would speak on that if she got fired. You guys know this very well. I don't have to say this. You all know this very well. And additionally, put it like this. Let's hold out and let's make a judgment. If she got fired, right, because you guys are all thinking, oh, she questioned Israel, or she just had questions. She was just being harmless. She was just asking questions. Listen, she can ask whatever she wants, but that's not what she was doing. You know, what she was doing goes along the lines of defamation, and it breaks the 9th commandment, because she's clearly a liar, and she was lying on Israel. And she was you know, obviously she's going to do her click and bait, because that comes with the game. That's capitalism. So that's not exclusive to her. That's, you know, whatever, that comes with the game and everything like that. But she was really gaslighting when she was talking about genocide and all these things. And remember, I also had another video, or actually, no, it was in that same video, actually, when I was talking about, did she get fired? Did she quit? Or was her contract up? Later on in that video, I attached a segment of where she almost blew her own cover when she was talking to Charlemagne the God on the Breakfast Club, where people were attacking Ben Shapiro, saying that he insinuated that she should quit. When I had to make the interpretation, I had to break it down to people that he wasn't telling her to quit. It's just that when she was putting the Bible verse out there, you know, the blessed are the peacemakers or whatever, and she was initially saying, you have to choose one master, God or money. You can't choose both. He was telling her that she chooses money every day. But people just literally took it as he said that she should quit. And that was in November. And then boom, you figure a few months later in March, they're like all blaming him, saying that he fired her. Come on, I never thought I'd say this in a million years. Not initially, because, you know, people are shocked that I came to this conclusion about her because I was very much defending her, whatever. Initially, I liked what she stood for. But I never in a million years thought that I would come here to where I'm at now. She practically reminds me of Kamala Harris at this point. Do you all remember when Kamala Harris was the senator of California? And I'm not speaking to whether you agreed with her or not during her time of being the senator of California. But if you look at Kamala Harris when she was the senator of California versus her being the vice president, she had a little bit more sense then. She was able to make more complete sentences rather than having word salad. That's like along the same lines of what I think of Candace Owens. Like initially when she first dropped or when she was on a come up, however you want to say it, she made more sense, whatever. Now she's just saying anything and she's just constantly lying on Israel. And like I've told people before, when I look at Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes, Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, the Manosphere, the Red Pill and so forth, how they are affiliated with the right, you know, especially, you know, it's funny because I had to unravel this along the way. These people are all operating in a very much fascist type of a way, hence the neo-Nazis. And what you are all seeing right now is the merge of Catholicism and Islam. That's what you're seeing right now. Again, Candace Owens, Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, Nick Fuentes, you know, they all have this thing where they hate Jewish people. And they're like, oh, you're Catholic, I'm Muslim, and they're enabling radical Islam, you know, because I was wondering, I was like, how did Candace Owens just convert to Catholicism like that, you know? And it's funny because as a woman, when you're married to your man, or just any woman in general, I believe that if you're going to do some type of a conversion in a relationship, I believe that the woman should convert to whatever her man is. That's just what I think. You know, she got married to her husband first, and then it took her like 4 or 5 years to convert to his religion, which is kind of weird. I don't know if maybe that was, you know, maybe the money came first. I don't know. But as hard as she works, I don't even think she's getting under his money because, you know, she should be, you know, giving, like the advice that she gives to people, you would think she would stay home and be a stay-at-home mom because she says that if you work, you're a feminist. So I guess she's a feminist, which she absolutely is. And as I always tell you guys that she's not a conservative. She just gets the fiscal conservative dollar. She's still a liberal. Anybody that tells you they went to sleep and they woke up and became a conservative, they're still a liberal. Either you're a liberal or a conservative. You could be a conservative and you went through your stages and your phases, you know, maybe you used to go out clubbing or maybe you used to do whatever it is that you was doing. But once you get into your conservatism, there's no going back. So you can grow into your conservatism, but you don't just turn the lights off as a liberal and become a conservative. You don't just go to sleep and pull your blankets up and then wake up out your bed, crawl out your bed, and then, you know, you're overnight conservative, as she says. She's still a liberal. She's still a liberal. You know, and she was a doxing person when she was a liberal, and she was a doxing person when she was a conservative. She is who she is. She just gets the fiscal conservative dollar. You know, that's all. But, again, Piers Morgan was most certainly calling out her bluff, you know, and it's like, if you was fired, especially her and her particular character, the way that she operates, why can't she talk about it? Why can't she talk about it? And then when he asked her if she signed an NDA, she can't talk about it. Because that's the thing. If she didn't sign an NDA, she'd be able to talk about it. And then the thing is, you seen how he attached the clip of Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro's not going to talk about it neither. That's the thing I'm trying to explain to people, that even when she was on Twitter, because the thing is, initially, she never said, I got fired. That's the thing that people don't understand. She never said, I got fired, right? And then on Twitter, what she was doing is she was like, okay, let's say if people tagged her or something like that, oh yeah, you got fired for speaking against Israel and so on and so forth, she would like it. She was pretty much feeding onto the idea that she got fired. She didn't say it or nothing like that. So then she picked at Ben Shapiro and said she wanted to have a debate with him. As I made a video and I told you guys, if she ever had a debate with Ben Shapiro, he would beat her. He would drag the floor with her. She's not going to beat Ben Shapiro. I don't care what nobody says. But the thing about it is, when the gag order ultimately came, people don't understand that even though you think that the gag order is silencing her, ironically, it actually protects her in her image. Because like I said, she never said that she got fired, but she's going along with it. And I think, you know, it kind of, I don't know what the contract is because I wasn't there, but it goes along the lines of breaking the contract. So I say all this to say that you think that it's silencing her, because a lot of you people who claim that y'all was conservatives and y'all don't see skin color, y'all making this an issue of Candace Owens is a black woman and she got fired by the Dailywire and they are pale-skinned Jews. So y'all making it a racial issue, whether y'all know it or not. That's why I said liberals, conservatives, a lot of y'all are the same shit at the end of the day. But like I said, it actually protects her image, because if nothing can't get out of whether there was an NDA or not, it protects her image. Because let's say hypothetically y'all found out today, a couple of months after March, let's say hypothetically y'all found out indeed she was never fired. That's going to ruin her image, because people could be like, what? You know, you were even going along, Candace, like we thought you got fired or whatever. My thing is, put it like this. If Candace Owens does not sue the Dailywire, let's say within 2 years, she didn't get fired. Listen, whatever. Like I said, in that initial interview with Piers Morgan, he was calling out her bluff. Not only in that spectrum of the topic, but even all throughout. And like I said, she couldn't answer. She kept deflecting. She's acting like Kamala Harris nowadays, and she's very disgusting. She's lying on Israel. She's breaking the 9th commandment. And like I said, she might not pay for that in court, but like I said, she will pay for being a liar. And he was calling out her bluff because he knows she's full of shit. If she didn't sign an NDA, why can't she answer whether or not she got fired? Because if she got fired, and if she got fired wrongfully, because whatever she was covering on the Dailywire during her length and time of being there, then there's nothing. What's wrong with her speaking about her getting fired? What's wrong with her speaking on that? But like I said, many of you who claim to be conservatives and say that y'all don't see skin color, y'all made this a racial issue. You know, liberals, and I'm going to say this a million times, when liberals and conservatives attack Jewish people, from the liberal perspective, white liberals, I'm talking about, it could be Anglo white liberals, right? Or any just white liberal of America, any white American liberal. They will say Ashkenazi Jewish people have pale skin. So it is because of their pale skin, they will pair them together with white Anglo-Catholics and Protestants, only because these Ashkenazi Jewish, that segment of Jewish people have pale skin. On the flip side, the conservatives will attack the Jewish people because they blame Jewish people for white people, the white Anglos, Catholics and Protestants and Methodists, etc., for decreasing. So that's the white people, the white Anglos, the white conservatives, they're playing victim to Jewish people. So you mean to tell me it's Jewish people's fault that the white American man was the first passport bro, and he was going to Latin America, knocking up Latin American women? He was going to Asia, knocking up Asian women like Xi Jinping and Sukiyaki, and then he went over there to the Pacific and knocked up Coyote. It's the Jewish man's fault that the white man, so because when you mixing with these, now you having yellow babies and light brown babies, they're no longer exclusively white. So y'all playing victim, and y'all suck. A lot of you are cucks and simps, you know. But like I always say, the black community tends to hate each other, and the white community contradicts each other. Not only white Republicans versus white Democrats, or white liberals versus white conservatives, but even within the WASP, even within the white Protestants, they're divided within as well. Because some of them love Jewish people. Well, I'm talking about white Protestants. Some of them actually love Jewish people, and some of them hate them. It's just, you know, so again, A lot of y'all told the black community not to play victim, but what are you doing that's any better? And then you got Candace Owens. She could play games on y'all real easy. She could have played games on the black community like that. Candace Owens couldn't go to the Breakfast Club and play Jess Hilarious for stupid. She couldn't play Charla for stupid. I mean, I could see Candace Owens trying to play, like, if you talk about, like, the Breakfast Club in particular, I could see Candace Owens trying to play games on DJ Envy, but I can't see her trying to play games on Jess Hilarious. Candace Owens be playing games like, you know, she played games with Nicole Arbor. She played games with Tommy Lauren. She'll play games with white folks because, listen, whether y'all white liberals or white conservatives, she'll play with y'all all day, every day. And to the white conservatives and the righties and so forth, the rights and the whites, y'all let her in. Candace Owens is still liberal and y'all let her in. But then when the Jewish people are like, nah, don't come for them. What's wrong with people defending themselves? Whether it's the black community or the Jewish community. Just because white Anglos done lost their backbone and they're disappointing their KKK great-grandparents doesn't mean that Jewish people or black people can't defend themselves. Like, what's wrong with y'all? But Candace, she know who to play for stupid and shit. But Piers Morgan, he definitely called her bluff. So, if she got fired, why did she sign an NDA? And why isn't she suing the Dailywire? Okay, I'll give it 2 years. Okay, let's see if she sues them.